last video, we talked about health, what health is, and the different components of health. We used an 8-component model. Now let's talk about wellness and what that is. Well, it used to be that if you were not sick, you were considered well, sort of an either-or situation, but that's not how we conceptualize it now, right? Being well is not simply the absence of a disease. Instead, we want to think about wellness as being a continuum, ranging from very, very low health all the way up to optimum health. And for each of the 8 components that we talked about, you might be in a different place. In some areas, you might be on the lower end, and other areas, you'd be closer to optimum. To kind of illustrate this one, let's look at this continuum. At the low end of the continuum would be very, very low health. This might be someone who has a disease that is very, very difficult to recover from, or maybe it's not really possible for them to recover from. An example here might be osteoporosis. One level up from that would be someone who is sick, but it is a very treatable sickness, and they're expected to be able to recover fully with treatment. In the middle is simply someone who does not have a disease, they're not sick, but they really aren't very well either. They don't have very many good, healthy habits, and so they're very susceptible to moving downwards on this continuum. A level up from that would be someone who does have a lot of healthy habits, and they're trying to improve their different aspects of health, but they still have a ways to go. They have room for improvement. And then finally, at the high end, we have what's referred to as optimum health. This is about as good as it's going to get. Now, sometimes it takes some work to be there, it takes some work to stay there, but it pays off to a large extent. So what we don't want to think about is that it's very difficult to get to optimum health in absolutely everything. The first thing we need to do is kind of assess where we are with each of our different components of health and decide which one or ones we want to try to change. And then instead of thinking about trying to get all the way to optimum health, kind of evaluate where we are and see if we can get a little bit better from that particular point. Now, if we are able to do that, we can then set a new goal of moving up again on that continuum. And we can do this over and over in the different parts of health until we reach the point that we're satisfied. Now, in order to change our health and become more well, that's going to require some change, right? So that's what we're going to talk about next in the series of videos, is this process of change.